Hello again. Happy New Year. We are a little over a week into the new year, and I'd like to welcome you to Mental Health Meets the Bible, where we are normalizing calling on Jesus and dialing 911 at the same time. My disclaimer is nothing that I say here is meant to diagnose or treat you. Please seek help from a licensed therapist, counselor, psychiatrist, or psychologist. We work interchangeably. Also, let me tell you today's topic. It came to me that, some people might still be challenged with, going to therapy and prayer, especially the ones that has been set in their ways for so long and all you had to do was pray. But in the Bible, it even tells you that faith without works is dead. So even though you're praying, you still had to move. And what came to mind today was even our ancestors who were slaves had to pray while they were moving, or moved while they were praying. They were doing something and speaking something. They were putting things into action. So when I think about wade in the water, children, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. So I had to think about the signs that it gave. When they were singing that song, when the slaves were singing that song, you had as lookouts. Some slaves were lookouts. They were praying. And while the ones were in the water trying to get free, praying while they were trying to get free, they sung that song to let them know, hey, there's trouble around us and you're going to need to wait in that water a little while. Don't move. Just wait in that water. It's going to pass. Wait in the water, children. God's going to trouble the water. So that means the water was being troubled. But while they was waiting, they were praying. So they were acting simultaneously to get to freedom. So in our mental aspects, to get to freedom, we still have to be doing some things. We have to be moving while we're praying. So with this new year upon us, I had to ask myself, am I doing enough to make some moves, to make some changes, to see some things happening? While I'm praying, am I moving? While I may experience dark spots or periods of life that seems to have no light and my light has been squashed, and for a moment I don't see any other way out, I have to recognize that while I'm praying, I must seek therapy. I must talk to someone about it, that I don't have to go at it alone. A lot of times we go, well, no one has called me, no one has picked up the phone to check on me. But sometimes the phone works both ways. Have you called someone to check on them? Have you done all that you can to reach out to someone? Let's remember that 988 is a special number for resources now. That is a quick way. You don't even have to remember a lot of numbers now. Just 988 to get help. If you're thinking of suicide or you're feeling suicidal, you're going through the motions. This is a new year. Don't go through it alone. I can think of another situation right now. Someone that was blatantly disrespected me. And for a better part of last year, I was letting that person do it. But in the beginning of this new year, I said, you know what? I don't have to be going through this. This is not who I am, what I'm about. I'm not about to go back and forth with anyone. this person has passed away, close to my heart. We were married, and, so the blatant disrespect, I was just like, I finally asked myself, why are you putting up with this? See, we put up with so many things that we don't have to put up with. And in life, we are thrown into a lot of different challenges. We experience many different challenges. And I say that to say this. While you are moving, yes, you are praying. While you are sitting either virtually, like I am talking to you, and you're speaking with someone that's licensed to help you, like I'm doing now, now it's virtual, just how I'm sitting here talking to you. You can have a licensed counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, right here in front of you on your laptop. You don't even have to leave home now. Technology is growing day by day. So you can sit there and have an hour session with someone to help you maneuver through what you're going through, to move, while you're praying. Just say you just been calling on Jesus, seems like forever. And it seems like you're just stuck and nothing's happening. And you're waiting on him. But then you have to say, okay, Lord, I'm waiting on you. Once, I'm waiting on you. Now, what am I supposed to do? Because when he first told me to do these videos, I was like, okay, I haven't really heard anything else. So I'm just going to keep doing these videos until he shows me the next step to do. I just don't want to be acting out of what I think I should be doing. I want to be moving with purpose. I want to have God's best interest for me in mind. Like, we run to and fro. We put so much on ourselves. There's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety. Good anxiety is good when it's pushing you forward. Bad anxiety is when it's stunting your growth. You're stuck in limbo. You're kind of impasse. You don't know what to do, where to go, or how to do it. And that's when there's so much at your fingertips where you can seek help. Now, I think back to our ancestors and all they went to. Now, everyone that, stayed on that land, and this is just my opinion, that, was beat, and, a lot of our ancestors didn't have a choice, didn't know how to run. But the ones who knew how to run and wasn't afraid of the fear ahead, like they didn't let fear stop them. They might have had some fear. They might have had experienced anxiety. But through that fear and through that anxiety, they kept moving. And they kept moving until they reached freedom. And that's the same thing with life today. Through all anxiety, through all challenges and obstacles, while we're praying, we're going to have to be like our ancestors. We're going to have to get strong. We're going to have to move out of fear. We're going to have to move no matter what's thrown our way. We're going to have to keep moving until we experience that same freedom that our ancestors was able to feel. Now, the sad thing is some of our ancestors never made it to freedom. And we can't blame them, because a lot of it is a mental state of being. It's what you believe. And sometimes that fear can take a hold of you, and you can't think, you can't move, you're afraid to talk, but you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're afraid to take that step that's going to launch you into that light. So I challenge you, even myself, to not let that fear grip me or you, to run out of that grip, just like some of our ancestors did. The ones that couldn't move, that still bore the brunt of the pain, the beatings, and they stayed out of fear of what might happen or I might get caught. This might happen if I do this. And you can't help but say, sometimes I can't say what I would have done. I can just be thankful that I was not born in that period, and be thankful that our ancestors paved the way for us today. Because now in the summertime, when I'm out in the sun, I know what my ancestors went through, because I'm like, I don't see how they did it with the sun beaming down and having to have to pick cotton, being beat, being told when to move, when to talk, when to walk. That had to be hard and challenging. But for the ones, I think about Harriet Tubman, who risked her life time and time again. Even Moses, when he was setting the people free, do you know there had to be some type of challenges and obstacles in their way? While they were moving, they had an onslaught of people that was praying for them. But while they couldn't trust that others was praying for them, they had to pray for themselves. They had to seek help for themselves to figure out, okay, God, how do you want me to do this? I'm about to do this, but I need your help. I need your wisdom. Help me walk out of that fear. Help me break those chains. Help me break these generational curses. Because a lot of things that we go through, our ancestors went through them, but we don't have to. We're learning how to break those generational circles, cycles, chains. They're coming off because we're praying and we're moving a different way. We are allowed to move a different way. Back then in their time, they wasn't allowed to move a different way. But today is a whole new story. We got a story to tell. We got books to write. We got songs to sing. We got people to see. We got therapists we can talk to. We have psychologists we can talk to. We have psychologists we can talk to. And back then, most of the land was healed on herbal medicines, and I'm a big firm believer in herbal medicines. But like I say, don't do like I say. Anything that I say here is not meant to treat or diagnose you. But now there has been an upgrade, not just from herbal medicine. Now there are medications that doctors can prescribe for those that are not operating in their right mind or feel that they have some blockage that needs to be sorted out. Until you go into an office, there's been a stigma attached to mental health for so long, since slavery days, since our ancestors. We didn't seek any type of help, but today it's there for us. And I challenge you to seek help along with your Sunday visits to church or your Wednesday Bible studies. Carve out a day through the 7-day week period where you can speak to a licensed psychiatrist, psychologist, or therapist to help you along on your journey. Don't do this alone, people. Suicide is not the answer. Self-harm is not the answer. Murder-suicide is not the answer. So I challenge you to make this a real new year for you. I challenge you to say, yes, I'm going to church. Yes, I'm going to pray. And yes, I'm going to seek therapy. Therapy is therapeutic. There's so many theories and so many branches of psychology that no one should suffer mentally. Let's help our family members move through challenges. If you're not apt or capable or educated enough to help them with situations, have your resources handy. That to say, hey, call this number and talk to someone. You see some of your family members struggle. Don't brush it off anymore. Help them through the day. Give them some resources. Say, I may not can't help you, but here's a number. Get some resources this year to help you move through. Remember, 988 is a resource for every ailment, that they can direct you to the right educational advocacy to help you along in this journey. So until next time, let's move while we're praying. Let's talk to someone while we're praying. While we're quoting those scriptures, let's look at it like faith in action. Faith without works is dead. So let's faith and work and therapy. Got it? Until next time, be blessed. I love you all.